Guys, we're gonna use the last juice in our tank to try and get through Reddit Realness at Adults Finds of the Week before we run home and wrap ourselves in duvets. Apologies for this episode, man. Honestly,
It's actually Stephanie's fault. Just blame Steph.
it was me. It's actually my fault.
Because when I'm sick, I can carry when you're sick. You've been sick here before, and I've been able to hey!
Yeah, but we're both. I'm coming out of it, but I'm still. It's in my chest. But cool. Let's do Reddit Realness.
Right. We can't say it, can we? Asshole.
Don't say that I'm the arsehole bit. Just say the title says "Done with my wife."
So just start from there. Okay, today's Reddit Realness. Done with my wife. I was dating my wife for a long period of time. She wanted to be married, but I always hated the idea. I told her marriage always changes things and it always stops being fun once a ring is on the finger. After years of being together, we got married and had our daughter, now 13. And ever since our daughter arrived, she has been less and less interested in me or anything having to do with me. Grammar's so bad. There is no affection, no intimacy. She doesn't even sleep in the same bed as with me because of my storing, which hasn't changed for the 20 years we've been together. It's been 4.5 years since our last sexual... Wow.
That's a whole toddler.
It's been 4.5 years since our last sexual encounter, and I'm done. I will mention that after about 2 years of not sleeping together, she was in a car accident. Wow, okay. I will mention that after about 2 years of not sleeping together, she was in a car accident, which injured her back. And due to this, she hasn't worked since COVID hit. So now I'm 100% supporting a household for a woman who doesn't snuggle, have sex. Hell, I can't even remember the last time we kissed. I've been keeping the cheaper to keep mentality, but it's wearing on me. And I'm just more and more frustrated. And I don't want to have my daughter think I'm always mad or a jerk because of my actions at home. At this point, I don't care if she can support herself. I don't care if she has a place to go. I'm just tired of supporting what's basically a roommate who takes good care of our kid. Am I wrong for this?
Bro's angry. I think it's worth having a conversation with her to find out what the root cause of the lack of intimacy is. Then after that,
I'd cut.
I'm not gonna lie to you, cut. Because you're resentful at this point. I don't know if that you can fix that.
Yeah, it's been too long.
That was a rant. You're asking for advice. You're ranting. You know what you need to do.
It's been you should have had that conversation 6 months, a year in.
But I do feel like you need to have a conversation because sometimes sometimes people lack self-awareness and it may be something that he's doing that may be...
She's so mature.
No, because it may be something that he's doing or not doing that may be the cause, maybe causing the lack of intimacy. Are you being romantic? Does she feel loved? Do you make her feel sexy or beautiful? Because at the end of the day, even with sex, it's not something that you could just
snap
into. Be romantic. Remind your wife that you still find her attractive, etc. Take her out on a date. Act like it's the first date or second date. You guys are still in dating period.
Bite her neck, choke her.
Do you know what I mean? It can lead to that. But I think sometimes in marriage it's very easy for you to get comfortable, especially when you're both dealing with stresses of the household, keeping the household together. We've got children, etc. Sometimes it's hard to kind of how do I say, keep it spicy, etc.
Yeah, but do you know my thing is, Steph, and I understand, and I would 100% agree with you. But bearing in mind, it's been 4.5 years. That's the thing for me.
That's why I'm speak to her, because that's not normal. 4.5 years is not normal.
Yeah, but at this point...
She's not even sleeping with you in your bed. You guys need to have this conversation, whether you like or not. So even for you to just know, in case there's something that you're doing wrong, so you don't take that into your next relationship.
I wonder why that conversation wasn't had beforehand.
I feel like you need to chat to her. Cut. I'm not saying don't cut because this is a rant.
Point is, what's the point in having a conversation if you're going to cut anyway?
No, Christiana, this is a marriage. It's not a relationship. You guys are married and you have a daughter. You have to have the conversation. Because if it's something that can be salvaged, if it's something that you're doing and you didn't realize you were doing, or something you're not doing and you didn't realize you weren't doing, at least even if you're not taking the learnings to try and salvage the relationship, it's good for you to know and hear her out from her side. Her side.
Yeah, she does
I feel like
deserve
it's.
that.
I feel like she does deserve that. She's the mother of your child. And you must have loved her at one point to marry her and be married to her for this long.
But can I just say that? And the reason why I'm like, so actually, yeah, you're correct. Because I feel like if that's how you're feeling, how is she feeling?
Exactly. She's a woman. Like I'm sure she's human too. I'm sure she's feeling some type of emotion. I'm saying this thing.
Sorry.
Sorry, I just thought I should use that as an opportunity to clear my chest.
It might be enough.
Okay. Yeah. I feel like, yeah, like she may be feeling the type of way on her end as well. We only heard this guy's side of the story. We haven't heard from her. She may say, he hasn't called me beautiful in 7 years. Or I try and dress up nice for him and he doesn't compliment me. Or we haven't been on a date in 10 years. Like we don't know her side of the story. So I'm like, have a conversation with her. But I do feel like perhaps if it feels like it can't be salvaged and there is no real good reason which can be fixed as to why you guys have gotten to this point, then I feel like, yeah, you should definitely explore potentially leaving.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I think have the conversation because you share a daughter and you've spent so much time together.
Exactly.
At least if you're leaving the situation, do it with a level of understanding for one another. So that it's not, because obviously he's resentful at this point.
Yeah.
When he suddenly goes to her, I'm cutting, she's going to be very resentful as well. Because obviously she's holding on. You're both still holding on to this.
Yeah.
So actually, yeah, I stand corrected. Have the conversation just to understand one another. But if after that conversation, it's important to think about her happiness as well. Because if you're not happy, it's likely, obviously, that she's not happy as well. So it might be better for the both of you from that conversation to cut it off. But have the conversation in any sense just to be able to understand one another. And so you're just not looking at each other vex every time you go forward. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Yeah, and also I encourage you to explore some employment options. There's stuff that you can do from home. If
yeah,
you
maybe
are
she's depressed.
if you are under pressure to maintain the household on just her salary, perhaps speak to her about exploring employment, even if it's just working from home. There's loads of jobs now. Thankfully, due to COVID, it's one of the good things that came out of it. There's loads of jobs now that you can do remotely. So yeah,
Or find out what she's passionate about. Yeah, because that could be a way of making money.
Yeah,
what I mean?
maybe. Yeah, cool. Let's quickly do adult finds of the week before we literally turn into mush here.
Oh yeah, wow.